President informing the House that the Honorable Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka has been assigned additional ministerial responsibility for national security. Mr. Speaker, the
additional has been omitted. It should be inserted so that it doesn't create the impression that this is because he's Minister for the Interior and has been assigned responsibility for national security. The rendition here does not accurately capture that, because it's not a reshuffle if it's not captured accurately. So right, Honorable Speaker,
the rendition here does not convey accurately what the communication is, because he's the Minister for Interior and he has been assigned
on this. Is it in the law or in the communication?
Well, right, Honorable Speaker, is from the, you don't get that impression here.
Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, what's your authority on this? Is it in the law or in the communication?
Well, right, Honorable Speaker, is from the communication. And Honorable Ministers,
have you had sight of the communication?
Yes, right, Honorable Speaker. We were copied.
Whether you were talking or you were laughing, that's not an issue. The issue is, have you had sight of the communication? You are
yes,
sure?
Mr. Speaker.
Additional. The communication is that he's been assigned the responsibility of, not additional responsibility. So, Minister, you are out of order. Yes, can we proceed? Yes, Minister for Energy and Green Transition. Oh, Energy and Green Transition.
Mr. Speaker, just all of us have had copies of the not the other, probably through you to the table office. Mr. Speaker, it's true that not all of us have had copies of the, not the other paper, the votes and proceedings. Mr. Speaker, under your able leadership, you provided us with very, very beautiful and working computers. So maybe I thought that I could appeal to you if you could direct the table office to make available next time the votes and proceedings on the computer. At least without even the paper copy, we can easily follow on the computer and make comments and suggestions as necessary. Mr. Speaker, just for your guidance and consideration. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, the structure we are using as the Chamber of Parliament was constructed in 1964. In spite of all our attempts to modernize it, we are still having serious challenges. And so it's not easy to unload some of the applications we have. Even the electrical connections are also giving us serious problems. It means we have to replace all, including the Job 600, and that's quite a colossal sum, which our budget has not been able to take. So we have a lot to unload into your PCs, but we are having challenges. And so you see that we're doing it piecemeal. And I hope in the near future we'll succeed in putting all there so that it will be a paperless parliament. We don't want to be giving you hard copies. It's quite expensive to run such a system. So bear with us. We'll get there sooner than later. Yes, honorable members, can we go to page 9? Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Yes, honorable member. Honorable member, my mic is working. Honorable members, is it the case that your mics have stopped working? Honorable members, is it the case that your mics have stopped working? Honorable members, I will proceed to suspend sitting for a few minutes so that it could be rectified. Please, just some 5 minutes.
It's back. The speaker is back.
Honorable members,
It's on.
are you sure?
Mine is on. Speaker, this is on. Then everybody should come here and talk. Mr. Speaker, it appears that my microphone is working, and I'm ready to yield my space for anybody who wants to speak in the House, Mr. Speaker. I'm ready to do that, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, sitting is suspended for 5 minutes.
Oh, nice working. Look.
The mic is not working.
It's working.
Abusia wabaswa na washe video no edi amame aha Ahintasem TV na ena finance minister atsu forcing obabe ready budget 2025 budget ena chese abusia obabe ready intende yebabe he se ilevi no yebe abolish no and I feel so betting tax as so you be abolition and a COVID-19 levy. On the say finance minister and budget reading anymore. You say COVID-19 levy so omobi ayede free wabeka abra na yura mahama ADNDC for ni mo no campaign for 2024 about one omode ba mu se Ghana for etimi eto aba ede ema wo mo a levy ombeyi edi efiri ho afezi so betting tax say nei wa wudu sika ko bet na kyerɛ sɛ wɔde bie aban sɛ da bi nyɛ ɔnɛma wɔ sika kotwaeɛ nanso so ɔno deɛ ɔgye tax ayɛ dɛn ɛde afiri mu ɔno nam so ɛma boys no ntwa tax no ma ba ɔno deɛ ɔmu dwaeɛ pa in fact nanse yɛ akora no ɛyɛ deputy agric minister ɛyɛ wura John Dumaru kora no bubusa no kɔhyen no sɛ betting tax no da bɛn ɛna ɛyɛ finance minister na sa aban no bɛyɛ afiri mu de to dwa sɛ ɛnɛ on the 11th of March sɛ ne finance minister kopie mu ɛwɔ Parliamentary a obeyi betting tax no ayɛ dɛn ɛde afiri etienie bɛhwɛ sɛ betting tax no ɔmo bɛyi ɛde afiri hɔ anaasɛ no a ɛbɛkɔ so na atua hɔ pampe afei so COVID-19 levy COVID-19 levy amanfo keka sɛ COVID no twam da na so sɛ no a ɛnɛ tax ɛyɛ COVID-19 levy tax ɛda so de nneɛma so akyerɛ sɛ tem ha bɔ ne nneɛma bi atoto no kuruma nyinaa no ɛne ɛyɛ light bill ne ade water bill ne ade nyinaa no ɛbɛba wobɛhwɛ na COVID-19 levy tax na ɛhyɛ so sɛ pampe na ɔno na amanfo di nkɔmmɔ sɛ COVID-19 kura sɛ atwam wɔ masabi ne saman ɛne ne nkrampan ɛne ne dompe kuraa ayɛ dɛ atwam ɛne nti ɛna aban no ɛntimi ɛnyɛ de ɛntwam a stay no a yɛkɔ so na yɛtua ɔno nso so wobɛka yi a ɛyɛ yɛwura John Dramani Mahama abra no tu franka ɛde amandisi no ɛde to dwa sɛ nyankopɔn yɛ ɔmadom na Ghana fotumi yɛ ɔmadom na ɔmodom kokurumuti FM ɔmo no mbɛtena Ghana bɔnwa no so a COVID-19 levy ɔno nso so abolish ɔmo bɛyi na ɔmo ɛde afiri hɔ enti ɛne ɛbɛhwɛ sɛ saa taxes no nyinaa no ɔmo bɛyi de afiri hɔ a na nsɛm a ɛne NPP foɔ ɛka ne sɛ ɛyɛ yɛwura president ɛnam yɛ finance minister ɛyɛ ato forces so na oyi COVID-19 levy oyi betting tax oyi e-levy nyinaa ɛde firi hɔ no mu a ɛbɛyɛ dɛn ɛna yɛ sika ɛtumi ɛde abu ɔma Ghana ama no ayɛ yɛ kɔs ɔman biara yɛpɛ sɛ yɛkyerɛ biara no kyerɛ sɛ yɛde toɔ ɛne yɛde kyekyerɛ ɔman no nti ɛne yɛ a ɔmo bɛyi ɛtoɔ de afiri hɔ yi nsɛm a Ghanafoɔ busa koosa ɛne sɛ ɔmo saa ɛba bɛ introduce new taxes bi anaa ɔmo saa de ɛtoɔ foforɔ bi ɛsɛ ba anaasɛ ɛyɛ dada no a anaasɛ ɛne deɛ ɔmo yɛ afiri hɔ yi ɔmo mfa ɛtoɔ foforɔ biara biem ɛnsa ɛmma anaasɛ abra abusua ɔmo ɛyɛ afiri hɔ yi ɔmo de ɛtoɔ foforɔ bi ɛyɛ de ɛbɛba abusua nti ɛbɛhwɛ ne nyinaa yɛbɛhwɛ ne nyinaa nti mɛsrɛ sɛ wowɔ so a na wahyɛ video no wadawroma na wahyɛ ɛde ama me no alike so ɛde ayɛ dɛn ama me comment section wɔ so abusua wobɛtumi akyerɛ wadwenkyerɛ ɛso ɛwɔ hɔ na ode ayɛ dɛn ama me nti mɛsrɛ so abusua wɔ so a like video no na ɛhyɛ na comment so na ɛfa ɛma me ne ɛhwɛ sɛ taxes no a ɛne wɔ mo hyɛ ho bɔ no ɔmbɛyi ne nyinaa afiri hɔ na ɔmo yi afiri hɔ no mu a ɔmo ebe introduce foforo anaasɛ ɔmo introduce foforo biara.
They're rationalizing that particular policy.
And I remember, could you just a final thing? This one fact is the reason why the previous government went to Parliament for a $400 million tax rebate.
Okay.
And that generated a whole lot of controversy. Anybody remember that? Is the reason why it was rumored that the former chair of the Finance Committee, the former Deputy Finance Minister, Kofi was removed. Yeah. Because he didn't believe that $400 million the government was pushing, the tax rebate that they were going to give to these factory companies, was a prudent thing to do. And he actually told me that publicly. He just disagreed with his own government, which is quite unique. The government now is saying, you're going to save all that, because that's money that would have come to us through taxes or the ports, etc., that it was not going to come. $400 million worth. That now you can plow back into the economy and use it for other things.
You know what else is gone? The Northern, Middle, and Coastal Belt Authorities. You remember those institutions that were set up to institute some of these programs, like one constituency, $1 million, and so forth. Those are gone. Now, you have to think of the amounts of money that government was funneling through those authorities in order to execute their mandates, okay? Huge amounts of money. Those authorities are now non-existent. Government will institute anything that they were doing, which needs to continue, through the DCEs and MCEs.
I
they
mean,
believe there is no reason why that can't continue, why people can't still get to benefit from all of those initiatives without having to set up entire authorities and employ people to work there in order to execute these mandates. One more thing, import taxes. There'll be some rationalization around that, and we'll be hearing some specific announcements
from the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiala Tofosin, the Executive Secretary of the Import and Export Tax Association of Ghana, Honorable Samson Awengobit, is here in person, waiting to hear exactly what the Finance Minister will be saying. Let's quickly engage him whilst we wait for the House to resolve those technical challenges, and then the proceedings will continue. Good morning to you, Mr. Awengobit. You are live on GTV, and so the House is gone on a suspension.
They're going to be saving some monies. But Evans, you can go on with the analysis on the smart wall.
And so that's just on the background to all the taxes that will go and how they're going to make up for what they're going to lose. And they found a way to do it. And so we're going to hear the specifics. And of course, they need to look at the growth rate. It's something that they want to deal with also. You want to send this continuing rising from 5.6, and they want to keep this trajectory. I had Atsu forcing the last time at the economic dialogue talk about medium-term 6% growth, long-term more radical reforms where this continues the projection. So they're going to put in place policies that hopefully keeps this trajectory going for 2025 and beyond. But this sector is a very important sector, obviously, right? Because it employs the majority of our people. But you see that it's struggling. From 2023, 2024, it's dipped from 5.9, now it's come to 2.3. And this is a great sector, by the way, and the growth is dwindling. They have to revive the sector.
What are the factors that contributed to...
I mean, and this is actually very interesting irony, right? And a good question. This is a time that we saw implementing the Plan for Food and Jobs, which was actually supposed to do the opposite, improve growth, employ more people, but most importantly, mechanize agriculture. We've been talking about this since I was a child. It hasn't actually happened. The one district, one dam,
one village, one
dam initiative was part of this. Create the dams. Why? Because when it's the dry season, you still need to plant.
For irrigation.
It's fundamental irrigation. That hasn't really picked up. We all saw the challenges with that. And so, of course, if you have that challenge, of course, this is what is going to happen. And we had some drought in the last 3 years. All that has fed into this. And need to find a way in this budget to put in some stimulus into the agri sector and bring this growth back up. And that is a very important point.
And actually, among the scoops we have is the fact that the finance minister intends to announce a marked increase in expenditure in the agri sector. They are going to allocate a lot more than ever before. And one of the big expenditure items there will be their new irrigation project. So government intends to spend a lot of money in ensuring that all of the land, or most of the land on which we are growing the food that Ghana needs, is going to have irrigation. This is another thing we've been hearing about since primary school, right? But here's the truth. The water that we need for the irrigation is being polluted by Galamsey. So we need to figure that out, and God alone knows how much that will cost.
And here's the thing. Yesterday, I was speaking to the Environment Minister who was on my show, PMS, last night. They have, in the budget that we're about to hear, Dr. Case After Force will announce an amount to help the fight against Galamsey. So they're going to, in the budget now, make a deliberate allocation for the fight against Galamsey because it's going to cost money. Part of the reason why the previous government withdrew the soldiers from the forest, because it was costing a lot to fund the operations, to keep them there, and it was costing quite a bit. But they've done a cost-benefit analysis. You need to sustain this over time because the guys, they are waiting you out in the forest, right? And it is about who has to meddle, who will blink first. You know the country is struggling. You don't have the financial wherewithal to keep them there, so you would eventually lose stamina. In this budget, at least for the 2025, they want to find money for it. That then sustains it throughout the year. The question of whether that will be enough or not, we will see.
Now, Evans, do you mind going back a little bit, just to one of the slides you had earlier, for those of you watching on Joy News, just before the agric slide.
Okay.
This one, the one about growth.
Yeah.
Now, you can see here, that you remember just before President Akufo-Addo left office, he actually proudly said that growth levels have gone back to pre-COVID times, right? So our growth has resumed its health that it had before COVID. Well, I have a question. How much of that growth is fueled by galamsey?
Okay.
Because gold is a very big item in our growth. Yeah. It's growing fast. So how much of it is galamsey?
We'll get some questions to that, some answers to that question. And Evans, when we come back, we'll go back to the agric slide. And on the value chain for agriculture will be transportation. And so we'll see how much bearing transport will have on the agriculture. But we'll go for a quick break. This is the special coverage of the 2025 budget presentation that will be happening in Parliament pretty shortly. Do stay with us.
For your Showmax is easy. Just choose your preferred payment method from these easy and convenient options.
Abusia eguso eyeden etwen se parliament ebitimi asa resume na omo ayeden ababetrance ama finance minister ewura atforcing etimi ababe ready a year 2025 a year budget 2025 budget omo trance na kire so mugu a year proceeding so na kire se a year microphones a parliament ni nyina etimi atitikoye entina ma a year MPs no entimi nya access to communication ene ade ononam so ma speaker of our parliament Eura Aban Babin suspend the parliament for 5 minutes said the bear omobeti me ratify a technical HS no na course na a microphone no a problem no mo face no motimi ayede a resolve enti aha Ahintasem TV wada roma wo na wala ki video no na wa share no comment so ayede ete amaye o said the me kan na busua fe na wabaso abekai abra na NDC for omoye campaign no na yura mahama edu omanim tu franka de amom ensem bebre no na omo de ekan efa taxes bia kede sede da nema biso na de so omo ba omo yi taxes bi ayede de afiri ho emum yensa na edi akotre pa e-levy electronics money transfer ene mobile money ni ade and you send this naturally say aban no ato tax e wo mobile money hu ukuye bete o send e bete and this for the tuja say Ghana for your madam na omdom kokrumuti e ma omo a na omo sa betra Ghana banwa so no bemu a e-levy etro no omo beyi e dia yede e dia free ho afeso so betting tax enei sa branti ababa wanya sika na kire se ono de oso betwa bet course adwuma ni o magana hantu on de bet anu afa na se adwuma na wakotwa bie wa nidia aban ne mani sika nemom odidia aban se de wudi ye no me se tituo ayeden e de afiri mu ono nam so ma mnante ne baba wani dwai omukoko epai abra na mpp for campaign mo ka kire mo se yesremu betting tax mu nyifiri ho course kurumu ha adwuma ni ha beti ya kakra no ene mnante ye edididie na etuo no kuye yetwa na ye nidi ya mumu yeska na memedi no na masate tax afiri munyi fra se beto tie omo so omo ntie he omo beto tie omo ntie omo ono na mso ma mpampa ayesa agoro ayesa mpa yede aba no kohye so no kai na kire se beti for na kire mpp for kafia mafia omato e de tie omo ono so NDC for the tuja sese nyame omadom no betra Ghana abanya iso na kukurumuti power na bo mu a betting tax no so no omo be yi afiri ho president otwam ko na do dan ko abese abolish no kama e de afiri ho na COVID-19 levy so what you say light be nyina beba obo se COVID-19 levy eyede eboso obetimi akọ shop akọ ade me kai pa se eye Christmas no me kọtọ ade e high sense for office and na COVID-19 levy na eboso ne taxes pa na kire se eboso na busua more than 200 Ghana cedi na kire se nyagoro ene tem habo nyina ba bia befa bia COVID-19 levy eprim ho se panyan na ade amanfo kan se COVID-19 yikura se twom ama sabi ne saman kura no wo ma ne saman kura no sabi odibi yesie ni da ene ekuro bia ne ho no a omokasa efa COVID-19 ho eso ede na Ghana nko de COVID-19 atwom koi still no no yeda so eje eye ehon levy ene ya ade enti Ghana fo kasa ya MPP for da woro momunyin firi ho nanzo so fufi antoata ankosiaga ema no so yewura Muhammad tujwa so no so Ghana fo yo madum kokoro moti power ne timi bomo na omo betra Ghana banwa so a COVID-19 level so be bibi ayeden e dia fa ho ni nyina to Ghana fo so ana kire se omo timi to aba e de ma eye NDC fo ne omo betra Ghana banwa no so enti enne on the 11th of September 2025 ana kire se eye wura finance minister eye honorable atofosin eni obepiemu ewo parliament na yakwa akwohwe se COVID-19 levy no betting tax ena afi susu eye e-levy no kura de etwa manfo sunu mu pa ene obi aye study etinitive ho afa no phone social media tereso ya alert se eye taxes miensan ya inde Ghana fo su ebeye abolish anase enye abolish na enkomo ba kwa manfo esa edi enkoka ne MPP fo ne se ekuro bia no ye de to ene chichire ye de taxes ene ye de chichire enti eye wura mahama musese omoba be yi taxes no e de afiri ho no mu a etuo ban ene ometimi de abu omayi omukonye sika e de afiri he ene omode bebu omayi enti eye krokro de dwon ene nei kire se omo eba beye eye Ghana fo ebia omo ye firi hoyi omo se sato a anu odre baburu be nso asa de ababugu eye Ghana fo so ntienei se de Ghana fo he se e-levy betting tax ana afi so eye COVID-19 no ebeko no ebia na eye ndisi fo ye firi hono mu a na omo se be introduce new taxes a anu odre okora de kire se percentage ni betimi awo so kora a chen de eguso no no so ne eye concern ba ko a ene Ghana fo binom ene MPP fo ni bi eye den ewrezie ono so nam so NDC fo so say hey MPP fo nyam asem mosuma bere wa wie ba bi oboto de ese bi predia san efam ho ben ye na sesi a ye wuru ya ban ene wo so enti kwan ye be fa so a ye betimi enye sika e de abu o man ne de ene ewo ya nkasa yensem enti ne ohia otum sem ne eye MPs no na girigina hono mu a omo try say eye technical hitches kakra wo ho about microphone akere say enya adwuma enya adadem that particular eye problem no omo betimi aye den asolve ene eye adeade enti abusua eguso wo atwene mu a ye twen eguso ewo eye atwene mu a kere say ye twen na ya hwese problem no ebetimi ayede asolve
gaps how do beba on a budget mu no obetimi afele sa gaps nya mame kwa amaso na mene Dr. Owusu Sakwade o economist o chira de University of Ghana Business School enkwatwe ekmo. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning. I'm in economics department or no business school. Good morning,
economics department. I'm going to there. Now, quick comment for and share as from 2024. Your fiscal position and deficit balance. You close 2024 with a deficit balance of 42.5 billion Ghana cedis. Abai, that time where you know near COVID-19 levy, near what ye levy, near betting tax. But still, Sekebia near share them say free amount near abe your budget more. I'm going to me pay on and sent me a shorty by 42 billion Ghana cedis. And then the entity say abai so obepe so obey COVID-19 ye levy and a betting tax at the Efrodom. Close to about 7.4 billion Ghana cedis. A criminal officer about me making sure say Sa gaps here ebe you know betimi afele.
Say be ya hwe kakra. Say akwess to the MPP year 2017 no. Media me position on
Abusia Parliament asa babak. Omasa ayede ababe transinti no yebeko ne akopeke eye feed no ne ahwe.
Speaker, I'm exceedingly grateful for the opportunity. And with your leave, let me please seek your superior judgment and wisdom on item 15, Roman numeral 2, Dr. Justice Sremsai, a nominee for Deputy Ministerial Portfolio. Speaker, if you take the 13th report of the Appointment Committee, the nominee has been designated as Deputy Minister for Justice and Attorney General. But over here, the votes and proceedings have captured it as Deputy Attorney General and Deputy Minister, Ministry of Justice. I do not know if it's a needless repetition, especially with the deputy coming at the two ends. I seek your superior judgment.
Honorable Member, this is the correct designation. He is the Deputy Attorney General. And also a Deputy Minister of Justice. That is the correct designation. May we go on now? Page 14. Yes, please.
Honorable Speaker, on page 14, item 16, motion, under conclusion of debate, the second sentence, the Honorable Second Deputy Speaker will due for the chair at 16:31 p.m. The Honorable First Deputy Speaker to the chair. Deputy is missing, if it could be inserted. And the same applies to the next sentence, so consequential amendment to that. Thank you.
Honorable Member, we are grateful. Table office, kindly take note. Page 15. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. On page 16, item 9I, name number 11. Honorable Professor Grace.
Page 16.
Page 16.
Yes.
Item 9I, that's Committee of Selection.
Oh, you're talking about item 19, not 9. 19I.
19I, Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
please.
I'm guided.
Yes.
The resistance.
In some, I know for the standard in our votes and proceedings, we usually have the title, the professor, coming at the end of the name and in brackets. But in this arrangement, the arrangement is different, Honorable Professor. And I see that again on page, we haven't gotten to page 22, but I have seen that repeated several times. So if there could be some consistency with the arrangement, I think that would be helpful, Mr. Speaker. It doesn't come up. Thank you.
Honorable Member, I will take note of that. Page 17. Page 18. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Page 18. Page 18. Item 11 and 12 has been repeated. Honorable Alfredni Oteashi. It's both at 11 and 12. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, my attention has been drawn by the chief whips to the fact that there have been some mistakes, errors in the list that was submitted and approved. I think it was on Friday. Yes. And so they are working at it and they will come back to us properly. So we await that. So if you identify some of the issues you are raising now, please kindly hold your peace. We'll get it corrected later on. Please. We'll do that later on. With regard to the composition of the committees, both standing and select committees. So page 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, up to the end of 58. Honorable members, hold your peace until they resubmit the proper composition to the House. In the meantime, the committees by law are established. It's only the composition that we're having issues with. The referral will be to the committees, and that is what will happen after the presentation of the budget. Please, with that, we'll take page 59. Page 60. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of the 29th sitting, dated Friday, 7th March 2025, is adopted as the true record of proceedings. Of the official report of Tuesday, 25th February 2025, elections. Honorable members, in the absence of any correction, yes?
Mr. Speaker, some minor corrections on column 79, second paragraph, line 8. Line 8, the former president, John Kofi, names are very significant. The second Kofi was spelled wrongly. It should be Kufuor, not Our. Kofi. It's a Kofi. Then the last paragraph, the last sentence, beginning to tend to that concept. Tend is used here, but I suspect the right word should be tend. T-U-R-N instead of tend, T-E-N-D. Thank you.
Please kindly take note of that. Yes, Honourable Member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on column 75, line 8, sentence should read, but I want to highlight one important thing that the maker, Mr. Speaker, the article there has been excluded, and I think that it is proper we include that. Still on the same column, line 17. Mr. Speaker, it should read as, I think that apart from the law, the act that was passed by the House, we has been omitted. We should look at the projects. So, Mr. Speaker, the Hazard Department the table should include we there. Mr. Speaker, column 76.
Paragraph 3.
We have, Mr. Speaker, lastly, I would want to also suggest that apart from the budgeting uploading of projects, the mistake here is the phrase, the maker of the statement has to be deleted. The maker of the statement has to be deleted and replaced with we, so that it will then read as, Mr. Speaker, lastly, I would want to also suggest that apart from the budgetary uploading of projects, we could include in every brochure, ... So that, I think, should be the rendition. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the same paragraph, _12 line. I would be able to tell that when I call this investor, the B is excluded, and it has to be included in the sentence. Be able to, and we'll replace participate with partner. We'll replace participate with partner in the same sentence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, table office, you have to listen to the voice and do the proper thing. Well, this is quite massive, and partner and participate, they are quite different and distinct. So the voice will determine which one to use. Because if you read the standing orders, it talks about it being put in as much as possible. Is a verbatim reportage of what is said on the floor. Yes, please.
I'm most grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, at column 144 of the official report, my contribution to the tribute to the Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the second paragraph at column 144, the word is faith columnist, not feed. So it should be F-I-F-T-H. What we have here is F-E-E-D. So, Mr. Speaker, if that can be corrected. And then the first paragraph at column 144, Fidel Castro should not belong to that category. It should be put in a different category. So if the corrections could be effected accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, table office, kindly take note of that. Yes. Honourable members, there being no further corrections. The official report of the 25th February 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. We will now move on to the item of the day.